Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is well today, and especially if will be catching the replay. Let me turn this down a little bit. I hope you're having a great evening or day, or whatever time this video meets you. I will be here briefly to share with you some tips on finding grant funding. And if you are here, please say hi. And also, it would be awesome for you to like, love, and share this video with other professionals or people that you know could utilize this advice of some easy ways to find grant money. And let me say to find the grant making agencies for grant funding. That's the better way to say that. Going to wait about a minute or so and then we're going to get started and make sure that I share this as well on some other platforms. If I can see. We'll do that. And hello. Hi, Miss Felicia. Again, we're going to wait a few minutes and let me share this. And again, if you would be so gracious to I did say like, love, and share, and also to tag. Thank you, Miss Felicia. Again, people that you know will benefit from this information. Okay. Alrighty. So grateful for technology. So we're going to be able to share this at a later date with the other things it's giving me that fits right now. I'm Shanquetta Cunningham, of course, if you're on the personal page, but you'll be watching this as well on YouTube and Karis Group Facebook page. And with Karis, the purpose of why I began entrepreneurship and really wanted to focus with on nonprofits and it's really because I believe that nonprofits are the gatekeepers and holders of community success. When you think about when things happen in our society, where there's a natural disaster or economic crisis, uh, after you look to first responders or you're looking to elected leaders, you also go to the nonprofit agencies of feeding kitchens and programs that supports children and homeless shelters. And so nonprofit leaders and organizations truly are essential and are truly add value. But one of the areas that is often of great concern is the financial strain upon nonprofit organizations. And for too often and for far too long, there's just been this myth that nonprofits should not be profitable. But in order to have the building and to have the vehicles and to keep the lights on and to service your community, you need funding to do that. And a great part of that funding, and not all of it, is with grant funding. And remember, grant funding is supplemental to your operational budget, that you should not have a program that's 100% grant funding. There's this saying that says, if you allow them to feed you, then you also allow them to starve you. And so when it comes to grant funding, I really want to encourage nonprofit entities and small businesses that you don't want to be exclusively with one particular grant funder or depend solely on grants, because at any time, as we can see these past 2.5 years, things can dramatically shift. But with that, today I want to share with you just a quick tip in the 10 minutes to funding success about researching grants. And I know I get the inquiries all the time, and they're sent to the Caris group, and we're always, not always, but we do get a lot of inquiries about how do I connect with grant funding opportunities and find grant funders. So social media, I can say, has spoiled us when it comes to research and when it comes to connection. But nothing beats actually connecting with those agencies that you know are giving funding. And if you, as a nonprofit leader, I know that you are following other nonprofits in your area, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So here are two easy things that you can actually do right now. If you've been looking at other nonprofit organizations that have been seeing announcements about grant awards, one of the things that you could do today is go and find that grant making agency and email on their website. They will have a section, excuse me, that will list their program coordinator information, or the president of the board, or the nonprofit if they have nonprofit, excuse me, the grant making agency, if they have the contact information such as a phone number or an email. Simply call them or email them and ask to be added to their email distribution list, or if they have a way for you to subscribe to their email, to the newsletter, add yourselves as well to that newsletter. That way, you can stay in the continual flow of information directly from that grant making agency right to your email. And if needed, you can add your board members, if with their permission, of course, or your staff. But adding yourselves to the email blast or the newsletter of grant making agency is super easy, super simple, and you can do that right now. So, for those agencies that you've been admiring or that you want to model your program after, and you're seeing their grant announcements, do a little research, spend about 20, 30 minutes in that area, and get yourself added to their email list. Another great tip when it comes to finding grants is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is often an underutilized source for professionals. Not only is it a gathering space for professionals, it's also where professionals, as we all love to do, is share successes. And so you will have those same grant making entities on LinkedIn. And in the search bar, you can literally Google grant funding and or do the hashtag. That's why hashtags are so essential. Because you can follow the hashtags, and so you can go into LinkedIn right now and type in grant making agencies, grants, and just begin to follow the news feed and the articles and different agencies that are talking about a success highlight of one of their grantees. And go back to that first step, like, their Facebook page, and reach out to their grant project manager. If you see a name attached to on their website, reach out to them. You will find the information. And when you want that success, and when you want to connect, you will exhaust all those possibilities of connecting. Again, social media has spoiled us because we want quick information, but we do have to do our due diligence in going after and figuring out the best ways to establish that connection and to establish being in the know. So remember, these are two easy ways, very simple, of not reinventing the wheel, looking at the people and the agencies that you admire that are getting grant funding, uh, emailing and asking to be on their newsletter and list, or to be in their e-blast, so that you are the first to know. It's not hearsay. You get the email directly to your inbox, or looked on LinkedIn. Utilize that more than just trying to share your accomplishments and the great things about your organization, which is grand, but dually use that as a resource to find and connect with those entities that are making grants and want to look for organizations like yours to support, and to be partners in moving your community forward. All right, so I do hope that today's tip of finding grants and easy ways to do that will help you. And guess what? We can dive into this deeper and with greater tools if you will join me at the Summer Funding Series, which will kick off next week, June 16th, here in Jonesboro. So, we will be hosting our Summer Grant Funding Series, or excuse me, our Summer Funding Series that will cover grants and fundraising and how you as a nonprofit can make it easier on you and your team and aligning yourself with opportunities and with organizations that are looking to fund the great things that you are doing. But I know you are already having the hat of running your nonprofit, and then fundraising part sometimes can kind of take a dip. But that's why we have established the Summer Funding Series, which is a series of free workshops for nonprofit leaders, for business leaders, for community leaders. If you want to know the best ways and some of the most efficient ways in connected with funding, then you do not want to miss our summer funding series. June 16th, the link should be in the chat. Register, and each session we will cover a different topic. So we have a date in June, a date in July, and in Little Rock will also be there. And so again, we'll be in person, having a thorough presentation about funding for your nonprofit and ways for you to access the money that you need to provide the services that transforms others lives, and for you to have operational support, and all those things that are needed to run a nonprofit. This is where you want to be. And we're going to kick off next week, June 16th, here at First National Bank. So sign up, register. It's free. Share with any and everyone that you know, that will these free workshops will be going on, and I hope to see you there. We all need this workshop. If you're a nonprofit, um, this is definitely the workshop. Excuse me, we all need this information. That's what I was trying to say. So this is definitely the workshop for you if you've been struggling, if you've been trying to figure out how do I know that I have a passion. I know that I want to serve my community, but at the end of the day, we know that we need the profits and we need the sales and we need the donations for that to run. Then you don't want to miss it. Summer Funding Series hosted by Karis Group. Sign up today and share. Alrighty, that's my 10 minutes on today. I do hope this information is of value to you. Please be sure to sign up for the Summer Funding Series. Follow more information about Karis and how to build a profitable nonprofit, and how that you can scale and enlarge so that you can fast forward to the success you need to serve the people that need you. Follow Karis Group on Facebook, and I'll be seeing you next time on our 10 minutes to funding success. Have an awesome and amazing day.